I'm Navita and today I'm back with eating and drinking vocabulary. I'm really starving. Now what does starving means? I'm dying of hunger. I'm so hungry and I want to get stuffed. That means I want to fill my stomach. Stomach, is that a right word? I don't think so. Well, for females and for kids we use the word tummy, whereas for males we use the word stomach. So let's get back to this. First is cutlery. Cutlery means forks, spoons, plates, knives, glasses. So all this comes under the category of cutlery. Well, it's not bowl, it's bowl. Next is basic statements. Well, we use three basic statements when we have to eat something. First is we set the table. Second is we sit at the table to eat, and once we are done, we clear the table. So we set the table, we sit at the table to eat, and then we clear it. Now here is a very interesting Venn diagram. It's about eating and drinking vocabulary. So first is to lick. What do you mean by lick? Well, I lick the ice cream. That means I taste the ice cream with the help of my tongue. So I do not, licking is not about eating. It's like you just taste something in a very small quantity with the help of your tongue. Next is to nibble. Well, rats nibble. So when you consume something in a very small quantity, that is, you nibble on that thing. Next is to snack. Now, when do you snack? Well, you do not snack at the time of your meals. Rather, between your meals you snack. So I love to snack on the popcorns. So that is snacking. You eat something in a very small quantity and that is not at all filling. That is just to keep your jaws moving. Next is to graze. Now, who grazes? I think cow grazes. So when you go to weddings and there's a buffet arrangement, you roam around, you taste different things. So that is known as grazing. When you roam around, you do not fill your stomach or your tummy with just one or two things. Rather, you taste different things and that fills your stomach. At that time, you graze. Next is bite. There's a very common phrase known as grabbing the bite. So to bite means to pierce or to cut something with the help of your teeth. So you can bite a pizza, you can bite a burger. This is little filling in comparison to nibble or licking. So this is to grab a bite or to take a bite or to have a bite, to eat some quantity of something. Okay? Next is munch. Do you like munching? Well, munching is the sound which is produced by our mouth when we eat something. Few people, they really munch very loudly. So I don't think it's a good habit. You shouldn't munch. I don't like people who munch in front of me. That's really annoying. Next is to rumble, gorge or gobble. Well, this means to eat a lot. When I'm really hungry, I rumble. I remember when I was in hostel, I used to gorge or I used to gobble. Next is to scarf down. Well, when the food is really inexpensive and you're really hungry, you don't even chew the food, you just swallow it. Okay, so that is scarfing the food down. Next is very interesting expression. It means to devour. When the food is really expensive and suppose you go to a 5-star or a 7-star hotel and you eat out there. So will you finish whatever is being served in 2 minutes or 3 minutes? No, you are going to take a lot of time. So when the food is expensive and you eat slowly, you devour the food. Next is to feast. I'm sure everyone loves feast. So when you eat the food with a lot of enthusiasm, maybe because of certain occasion, you feast. Next is to binge. To binge means you eat a little more quantity than you're supposed to. So basically you overeat, you eat greedily. So that is binging on the food. So we are done with eating vocabulary. Next is a list of words which is common to both eating as well as drinking. So first and second words, gulp and swallow, they mean the same. You do not chew something, you just swallow it, you just gulp it and it's directly in your throat. Next is to spit. At times you do not like taste of something, so you just spit it out of your mouth. Next is choke. Maybe you are eating or drinking, rather consuming something like greedily, or maybe you are distracted, so you choke. Oh, that is choking, something gets stuck here. Next is consume. Well, consume can be used for both the things, eating as well as drinking. So you consume it, you finish it, you have it. Next is guzzle. When you consume something very greedily, that is guzzling on something. Like, I would like to give similar example. When I was in the hostel, I used to guzzle at the weekends. Next is, this is all related to drinking vocabulary. So first is to taste a little. Well, I see a friend of mine and he's holding a very interesting drink in his hand. It's blue, green, and I tell him, can I just have a sip? So he might get offended. I should say, can I taste a little? Because sip is little more than tasting. Well, in case you are having very good relations with that person, then obviously you can have a sip. But usually you should say, I want to taste it. So obviously, here you're going to consume very less quantity, whereas in case of sipping, you're going to consume a decent quantity. Next is to have a shot of something. Usually this word is associated with alcohol. So you finish a particular quantity in a go, and you must be aware of shot glasses. They just look like bullets. So this is about shot. You consume a thing in one go, and usually the quantity is small. It's not very much. Next is swig. Well, swig and slug are very similar. Both mean you consume something, you drink something very quickly. But in case of slug, you do it bottoms up. You finish it in one go. Whereas here, you just consume very quickly. You just drink very quickly. So this was all about drinking vocabulary. Next, we have different varieties of beverages. Now, beverages are whatever liquids we consume. They come under the category of beverages. So first is water. Well, you'll be like, water? What has this to do here? Well, there are different varieties in case of water. So different kinds of words are used. First is still. If you go to a hotel, they'll be like, ma'am, you want still water or sparkling water? Or you want gas? Well, still water is unpackaged water. Packaged water is sparkling water. Okay, mineral water, sparkling water. Next is gas. Gas is soda. Next category is tea and coffee. Well, several flavors and varieties are available in the market. Herbal, English, a number of varieties are there. Then we have juice. Obviously, fruit juices are there, or at times even the vegetable juices are there. Then we have milk. Different kinds of milk are also available in the market. It could be low-calorie milk, low-fat milk, or almond milk, or soy milk, those who cannot digest the normal milk. Then we have got soft drinks, or popularly known as pops. These are non-alcoholic beverages. So next we have is beer and wine. They both come under the category of soft drink, whereas in case of vodka and whiskey, they come under the category of hard drinks. Now, what is the difference between a soft drink and a hard drink? Well, in case of soft drink, you consume that particular thing without diluting it. They are light. So that is why you consume beer and wine directly. You do not dilute it. Whereas usually you dilute vodka and whiskey. So we are done with eating vocabulary, common vocabulary and drinking vocabulary. Now we have to see phrasal verbs. Now what are phrasal verbs? First is to eat out. I want to go out and eat. I don't want to cook at home. I don't want to call food at home. I just want to go to a nice restaurant or a hotel and I want to eat there. So I'm going to use this phrase to eat out. Next is to eat up. I'm so hungry. Whatever was on my plate, I finished it up. So that is to eat up. Next is to plate up. Plate up is basically displaying food on the plate, putting the food on the plate. So my friend, she's so talented, she has so much talent that she plates up really nicely. Next is to bolt down the fruit. This is very similar to scarf it down. You don't chew the food, you eat very greedily and you just put everything directly in your tummy or stomach. Next is to tuck in, when you eat the food with a lot of interest. Suppose I've been eating to eat South Indian food and finally I got it. So I'm going to tuck in the food. That means I'm going to take a lot of interest and I'm going to eat it very enthusiastically. Next is to pick at. Oh, I'm seriously unwell. So even if yummy dishes are in front of me, I don't think I'm going to eat the food like in the same quantity which I usually do. So I'm going to pick at the food. That means I'm going to consume lesser quantity of food. I'm not going to, eat it greedily. Next is to dish up. It is very similar to plate up. The way you display the food, the way you put the food on the plate. For example, I have prepared a very interesting dessert and I'm going to dish it up. So I'm going to display it on the plate. Next phrase is to polish off. Well, this is a very funny phrase. It means Suppose somebody has come to my place and I offered him something on the plate, and that person finishes it off very quickly, and the plate is so clean, it is as good as new. So I can say, oh, you really polished it off. Next is animal and bird idioms. The first is to eat like a bird. When somebody consumes in very small quantity, we say that person eats like a bird. For example, my friend Pooja, oh God, she eats like a bird. Next is to pick out. When somebody eats anything and everything which is being served, so that person really picks out. I remember my friends from hostel, they really used to pick out. Next is to eat like a dog. When somebody is not a tidy eater, for example, kids. So you can say they eat like a dog when they create a lot of mess around. Next is to wolf down. It means to scarf down the food, to just swallow it, to don't chew it. Next is I can eat a horse. Well, this means I am so hungry I can eat anything and everything. I won't be showing any kind of tantrum. So that is eating like a horse. Okay. Next we're going to study different nouns on the basis of eating and drinking habits. First is Billy Bunter. Now what does that mean? Well, this expression we use for a person who is fat and who loves to eat. So I can say my friend Hitesh, he is a Billy Bunter. Next is gannet. Gannet is an expression which is used for a person who eats a lot and who is always hungry. So I can say my friend Neha, she is such a gannet. She's always hungry. She's never content with what she eats. Next is glutton and gourmand. They mean the same. That means when somebody really eats a lot. So glutton or gourmand are kind of people who really eat a lot. Well, last expression from this eating vocabulary related to poor people is hog. Hog is a very interesting word, or rather hog is a kind of a person who is little rude, who will try to finish or who will try to eat something which others might want. Next expression is teetotaler. Teetotaler we use for a person who never consumes alcohol. So I am a teetotaler. Next is abstain drinker or sober. Well, this expression we use for a person who usually can consume alcohol, but on a particular occasion he or she doesn't want to consume, maybe because somebody has to drive down, or somebody is not feeling like having alcohol, feeling like not consuming alcohol. So but that person can say, oh, I want to be sober tonight, or I am abstaining myself. Next expression is social drinker. Social drinker is a person who consumes alcohol only when, only on certain occasions or only when people are around. Next is drunkard. Well, this is a negative state. It means a person who consumes a lot of alcohol. And then what is the difference between drunkard and alcoholic? Alcoholic is a worse stage. It means a person who drinks obviously a lot of alcohol, but he or she also needs a lot of medical attention. So alcoholic is not in his or her senses, whereas a drunkard can somehow manage his or her work. So this was all about eating and drinking vocabulary. Please like, subscribe and share my video. Thank you.